What's going on, people? Welcome to Food Chest. Hope you're doing well. Oh yeah, guys, if you haven't done so already, kindly subscribe to the channel. Watch the videos, your comments, likes, all that good stuff. Much appreciated. Trying to grow this channel, all right? And keep informing you with some good stuff. So, a lot of things have been happening this month. One of them is the whole situation in Nigeria with the whole Christian genocide, which is being called. And the US President Donald Trump sent a warning to the Nigerian government, of course. And, there's been back and forth, I believe, about this. However, yesterday, the UN had a session. And to my greatest surprise, this is the last person. I know that Nicki Minaj has fans in Nigeria, her Bobs, they're in Nigeria as well. But I never expected her to be the one talking about Nigeria. Now, I did take a step back, but as always, I'm always the one to kind of question certain things and see the reason why things are how they are. And we're going to discuss that today a little bit. So we're going to discuss the why and how and the reason why Nicki Minaj is the person to talk about Nigeria's situation at the UN. But first, let's take a look at the video real quick. Then we'll come back and discuss further, all right? See you guys.
Thank you, Ambassador Waltz, for this invitation. It is an honor to stand on this stage with you and the other distinguished speakers here today to shine a spotlight on the deadly threat faced by thousands of Christians in Nigeria. I would like to thank President Trump for prioritizing this issue and for his leadership on the global stage in calling for urgent action to defend Christians in Nigeria, to combat extremism, and to bring a stop to violence against those who simply want to exercise their natural right to freedom of religion or belief. I stand here as a proud New Yorker with a deep sense of gratitude that we live in a country where we can freely and safely worship God regardless of one's creed, background, or politics. No group should ever be persecuted for practicing their religion, like I recently stated on social media. And we don't have to share the same beliefs in order for us to respect each other. We're way beyond thinking or expecting or assuming for, the person sitting next to you to have the exact same beliefs. We're beyond that. That's ridiculous. But that shouldn't make one person feel less safe than anyone in any room. Music has taken me around the globe. I have seen how people, no matter their language, culture, or religion, come alive when they hear a song that touches their soul. Religious freedom means we all can sing our faith regardless of who we are, where we live, and what we believe. But today, faith is under attack in way too many places. In Nigeria, Christians are being targeted, driven from their homes, and killed. Churches have been burned. Families have been torn apart. And entire communities live in fear constantly, simply because of how they pray. Sadly, this problem is not only a growing problem in Nigeria, but also in so many other countries across the world, and it demands urgent action. And I want to be clear. Protecting Christians in Nigeria is not about taking sides or dividing people. It is about uniting humanity. Nigeria is a beautiful nation with deep faith traditions and lots of beautiful barbs that I can't wait to see. When one's church, mosque, or place of worship is destroyed, everyone's heart should break just a little bit. And the foundation of the United Nations, with its core mandate to ensure peace and security, should shake. I am joined here today by peace builders, by faith leaders, by those who saw violence, saw rising intolerance, saw the threats clearly before us, and chose not to look the other way. I am inspired by their work to build interfaith ties, to see the humanity across the lines which might divide us, and to fight for security and liberty for all those who pray. I look forward to our discussion today, and I hope it will encourage deepened solidarity for us to urgently work together to ensure every person can enjoy the right to believe, to worship, and to live in peace.
Video is very interesting, right? First of all, shout out to Nicki Minaj. She was, the speech was very concise. It was straight to the point. She tried to kind of, have it balanced in the sense that she's not taking sides. So it was a well written out speech, and she was very composed. She was audible. You could hear her very well. So shout out to her for kind of doing that. It's not always easy to speak in front of people that you're not used to. Nicki Minaj is an entertainer. She's a rapper. So this is a new avenue for her. So shouts out to her first. But I had a couple questions when I was watching this yesterday. Of course, she was invited by the U.S. president's appointee to the UN, which is Mike Waltz. He's the ambassador of the U.S. to the UN. And he's the one that invited Nicki Minaj. I've tried to look around and find out why Nicki Minaj was the person chosen, and I didn't find anything to explain as to why, although I found out some things that indicated that, this can be a marketing scheme that, Nicki Minaj's rap career is dwindling, so she's trying to pivot into humanitarian effort, which is what normally happens whenever most musicians, their careers are, going down. There's always a pivot to something else. There were speculations that that's what she's doing. I mean, if that's what she's doing, that's a smart thing. You gotta eat. But my main thing is that, if this is a serious situation for the US who wants to get involved, which of course we applaud the US for, shedding light. Because, one of the things that surprises me with this situation is that it's kind of baffling to me that the Nigerian media, because it is, I think, Bill Maher who talked about this a while back. But the media in Nigeria has not even covered this. The numbers that I'm hearing is insane. The amount of churches, the amount of people being killed, it's insane that the Nigerian media platforms are not honing in on this since it's been happening ages ago. I even hear this has been happening since 2001. Okay, so now the issue here for me is that if this is a situation where people really want to focus on, I would think that to make it to add more oomph to it, using a Nigerian artist, because we can say even an African artist will have been great. It will have given it the needed sentimental value. Because hearing Nicki Minaj talk about Nigeria, she has there's no attachment. There's no feel and touch to her speech. Whereas if you had someone who was from the continent, more specifically someone who was Nigerian doing the talking, I think it will add more feel and touch to it. But again, here's another situation with that. I don't think any Nigerian artist will want to bring themselves forth to do such a thing because of the politics of it. Because one thing I have understood with the Nigerian context is that no matter how independent you are, as long as you are living in Nigeria, you are one way or the other attached to politics, which means that you have to be careful how you talk and what you say. Because even though Nigeria is a democracy, de facto, it might not be that much, which again is the situation with the media. The media also has to be careful because I don't think the media is as free as we would like it to be if it was indeed a democracy. Again, democracy in Africa is not a true, transparent democracy. I will continue to say this. Now, back to my point. So I can understand why a Nigerian artist might not not do it. So shout out to Nicki Minaj for being brave enough to do it. Another thing is that one thing I kind of see in this situation is that, Africa, people are saying, oh, there's other issues, underlying issues as to why Trump is going to Nigeria and all that stuff. But no African country, even Nigeria, has highlighted this situation as much as it has until now. No one has said anything until now. So we can, Africa or Nigeria can, or every other person can talk about the fact that, oh, Trump is coming to Nigeria for something else. Oh, he's doing this for something else. Well, even if he is, what is the other way? Because nobody has said anything about this. The people in Nigeria, even people in the diaspora, don't even know too much about this up until now that Trump has said something. So if you can, take the heat in the kitchen, you need to get out. If Africa cannot handle its situations in a very direct manner, then if somebody else comes to play, even if there's ulterior motives, you got to shut up. Because if you can't do it, don't talk too much. And that is the situation. Lives are at stake here. And although I do not support any form of exploitation, but sometimes if it takes this to shed light on thousands of people being killed for practicing their own religion, then it is what it is. Who is to blame? Nigeria is to blame. Nobody else is to blame. If you can handle your own situation, if you can clean up after yourself, if you invite somebody else to clean up, if something is stolen, you can't blame anyone. Clean up your room if you don't want things to be stolen from your room. If you invite a housekeeper to come and clean your room, if something is stolen, you have yourself to blame. Let me know what you guys think, guys. Let me know what you guys think about the situation. It's a terrible situation. My heart goes out to those people who are suffering this. People should be allowed to practice their religion without any fear or anything going on. But anybody, any form of religion that you practice, you should be able to do it freely. As long as you're not harming people doing it, you should be able to practice your religion freely. So if people are killing people for practicing their religion, it's absolutely wrong. And whatever needs to be done to make sure that this stops needs to be done. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section, man. As again, subscribe to the channel. This is Full Chest. Peace.